I live in the beautiful state of Ohio, and even though this place gets a lot of hate, I really, really love living here. I think it's fantastic. But one of the things that is a little bit of a bummer about Ohio is that the fishing, when compared to other states, is kind of meh. One of the main obstacles that I run into quite a bit with Ohio fishing is that there is a limited number of lakes and streams, and in turn, those areas get a lot of fishing pressure. So growing up here, I've had to learn how to be successful and catch fish when the fishing is tough, when the fish are pressured, when there's a lot of people on the water. So today I'm gonna give you some tips and techniques that I use to catch fish when nobody else can. Okay, so today I am out here fishing this muddy creek, and the area where I just parked my car is an area that gets absolutely hammered by anglers. There's a well-worn trail right here. There's evidences of some fires people have made. There's, trash everywhere. There's evidence that a lot of people fish here on a regular basis. So I'm going to implement my first tip, and that is to go a little bit off the beaten path. I'm gonna hike downriver a decent ways and try to get away from this area that's been pressured. A lot of people just like to roll up to a spot that has easy access, plunk their lawn chair on the ground, and put out a couple poles. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but if you take the time to just try to get away from the main pressured area, you can find a lot better fishing. So that's what we're gonna start off doing. I'm gonna have to walk through this thick grass here, but I should be able to find a nice spot downstream that has been isolated from a lot of this fishing pressure. Sometimes you gotta put in a little bit of work and hardship to find a good spot. All right, so I found a nice little spot right here, a couple 100 yards down from the bridge. I'm fairly certain that most people don't get down this far just because there's so much vegetation and brush. So hopefully this will be a nice little spot. Again, that's tip number one. If you're fishing a heavily pressured area, put in a little bit of work and try to get away from that pressured spot. Do a little exploring and try to find areas that are a little more isolated from the general public, and usually you'll find better fishing. There we go. Got him. Bowfin. Nice bowfin. Oh yeah, nice bowfin right there. All right, got one on this one here. There we go. Ooh, feels big. Feels really good. Maybe a catfish? What do we got? It's just still peeling like crazy. Is it a bowie? Oh, I got a cat, okay. I got him. Oh yeah, baby. Let's go, Mr. Whiskers. All right, guys, just caught this beautiful catfish right here. Probably goes around, I don't know, 4 or 5 pounds. Absolutely great fish. Put up a great fight. It's hard to think that there's fish this big in this tiny of a creek, but there is. Fantastic fish right there. All right, just got something else here. Someone just picked up my bait. There you go. Got it. The bait literally hit the water and this fish picked it up. What do we got? Ooh! Little northern. All right, guys, that was pretty cool. I just threw my bait out, and as soon as it hit the water, something just absolutely hammered it. And it turns out it was a tiny little northern pike. Awesome little dude right there. We'll put him back. See you, bud. This next technique is one that I use all the time when I'm fishing heavily pressured areas, and it's very effective. And that technique is this. Identify the fishing pressure, and then formulate a game plan to work around it. Let me show you an example. All right, so I'm currently out here at a spillway, and this spillway gets absolutely hammered because it's easy to access. There's a parking lot literally like 200 feet away. There is picnic tables, there's trash cans, there's easy access to the water. So in turn, a lot of people choose to fish this spot. For instance, I've been here a couple of times in the past, and I've noticed that a lot of the anglers that fish here tend to just roll up to the bank, set up a lawn chair, and fire a bait out into the spillway. Here there is some evidence of a fire pit. There is fishing lines scattered around, and there's even some wrappers from fishing lures. So my assessment of this place is that most of the fishing pressure comes from people that are fishing baits on the bottom for catfish or firing large lures around in search of northern pike. Now that I understand the type of fishing pressure this area gets, I'm now going to formulate a plan to work around that and to hopefully be successful. So the first thing that I noticed is that this side of the spillway gets hammered way more than the far side. Why? Ease of access. It's very easy to come down here and set up and fish. But from what I've seen from fishing here in the past is that most people don't venture over to the far side, I think because it's just too much work. You know, if you have a lawn chair, a bait bucket, a bunch of rods, a cooler, it could be a little bit of work to haul it all the way over there, and especially that bank over there is a lot steeper, so a lot of elderly people might not want to traverse that bank. And I'm going to use that to my advantage because that's exactly where I'm going to be fishing, because again, that side of the spillway doesn't get nearly the pressure. And also, if you look at the far side of the spillway, you can see there's actually a lot more current moving along that side versus this side. So one of the things that I noticed about this spillway is that a lot of people were not really fishing live minnows that much. And so that was one of the keys that helped me crack this location, was fishing live bait, and more specifically live creek chubs. And I would fish them on very, very light bottom rigs with smaller hooks on the far side of the spillway. And that strategy right there led me to a lot of success. Another way you can catch fish in heavily pressured situations is by using live bait. This is a live creek chub right here, and this is one of my favorite things to use when the bite is tough. You can fish them under bobbers, you can fish them on the bottom, and they catch pretty much all big predatory fish. In my personal experience, I have found that live bait, in particular live minnows, are bar none the best option when fishing for pressured predatory fish. These things are absolutely amazing. Now, one of the downsides to fishing with live minnows is you have to haul a minnow bucket around, you have to keep them alive. This one has a little bubbler on it, and you have to go either buy them or catch them yourself. So this can be a bit of a hassle, but the payoff is worth it. Got it. Okay, so you had me wrapped on somebody else's line out there. Another nice smallie on the live creek chubs, baby. Whew, we're doing work. Another one. Oh no, smallie. I think that creek chub was pretty much dead, but that small jaw absolutely hammered it. Man, there must be a pod of them out there, because I barely put the bait out and they're on it right away. Another way that I catch fish in heavily pressured scenarios where the bite is tough is by downsizing. I have had so much success in the last couple of years by downsizing my baits and my rigs when I am fishing pressured environments where the fish are skittish. Sometimes it can be as simple as downsizing a traditional bait. Here we have a traditional chatterbait right here, and this is a downsized version. As you can see, there is quite a bit of difference. And a lot of times when the fish are pressured, this smaller version right here will catch more fish. That is why I always like to carry a standard size bait and then a micro version of that bait. As you can see, here's a standard size spinnerbait, and here is a micro version of the spinnerbait. I'll even downsize my rig when I'm fishing live bait. Here's an example of a rig that I was using to fish for northern pike. As you can see, the one on top is quite bulky and large, and what I did is went ahead and downsized to a smaller hook and a smaller steel leader, and this subtle change actually made quite a bit of difference. Big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Eurotackle. They actually make a ton of small petite baits that I use on a regular basis when I am fishing for pressured fish. I would say my two favorite baits are the Fat Assassin right here. This is a fantastic little finesse grub, and then I also absolutely love the Bee Vibe. This is a ridiculously good little swim bait. Again, downsizing to a small, petite little bait like this can make a world of difference when you are fishing for pressured fish. If you want to pick up some of Eurotackle's fantastic products and support the channel, you can use the code Brendan Miller right here to get 10% off at Eurotackle.net. And thanks again to Eurotackle for sponsoring this video. Now, obviously, large lures still have their place. I throw them quite a bit and I catch plenty of fish with them. What I'm talking about is those specific scenarios when the fish are pressured and skittish. Again, when I find myself in those situations, one of the first things that I do is downsize my baits, and a lot of times this can make a world of difference. The next technique that I use to catch fish when others can't is by finding obscure fishing locations that a lot of people overlook. I have had tremendous success exploring and finding little weird spots that are kind of obscured and back in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes these spots are literally hidden in plain sight because people totally overlook them because they look so pathetic and trashy. It could be a small spillway, a small creek leading into a bigger body of water. For instance, take a look at this spot. This is a muddy little creek that actually flows out of a swamp, and it's under a road, and check out what I caught out of this thing. Okay, first cast, here we go. Oh, boom, instant. Wow, that was fast. What do we got? Whoa! Okay, so not what I was expecting to pull out of here. Nice little bass. I thought maybe I had like a world record creek chub on. I did not know there was bass this big in here, but pretty cool catch. Look at that. Nice little bass on a whopper plopper on the ultralight. I'm fishing this tiny little pool of water under a road. And there's bass in here. This other example is pretty cool. This is actually a discharge from a water treatment plant that flows into a very shallow little creek. And check out what I caught. There might be something hanging out right here in this discharge. Got him. Whoa. Wait. What did I just catch right here, boys? I just caught a rainbow trout, okay? That is a rainbow trout caught in the middle of central Ohio. That is fantastic. One of the main tools that I use to find these obscure little spots is actually Google Maps, and I find it works really, really well for pinpointing little areas that might be overlooked by the majority of other anglers. The last tip that I want to give you that'll help you catch fish in pressured bodies of water is this: put in the work. This is something that a lot of anglers don't want to do. They show up at a spot, they don't catch anything, and they assume that the body of water is trash and they move on to somewhere else. But if you put in the work and dedicate a couple of fishing trips to really trying to figure out that body of water, use the techniques that I presented earlier in this video, also put in time and put in the work. And again, that has been the biggest thing that has helped me catch fish in pressured bodies of water, is knowing the body of water, knowing the fish, knowing how the pressure affects the fish, and all of that stuff takes time and effort in order to learn. So guys, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully these tips help you catch fish next time you're out fishing a pressured body of water. Again, thanks so much to EuroTackle for sponsoring this video. Again, if you want to support the channel and check out some of their amazing products, use the code right here and check out the link in the video description. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and as always, stay hooked. I'll see you later.